The Christmas that was, hoping that this will resurrect nostalgic bliss in those who remember and those who experience that kind of Christmas. Spicy Christmas. It was the night before Christmas, and the wooden Morris chairs were a glittering dark brown. The floor was a mirror, glowing brighter than the glassy marble we used to pitch in the backyard. Hours of sandpapering and polishing had left elbows and hands aching. What the heck? It was Christmas, and Granny and Mammy wanted the place to look good, so we did our best. The sorrel and the ginger beer were already made. Grandma was beating the ingredients to make the black Christmas cake, beating it in a large bowl. Watch out, watch out. Somebody was always willing to fight for the bowl, for the batter was as tasty as the baked product. And greedy eyes were always watching. And the ham, when you leave with the ham, you leave with Christmas. Something salt must pass in your mouth, according to Chalkdust, the Calypsonian. It is hard, very hard to separate ham from a Grenadian Christmas, or Caribbean Christmas for that matter. But even some Rastas used to hide they hated pork, but they used to hide and tear lash in the ham boy, licks in the ham tail. There was one hell of a big tree on the Esplanade, St. George's. Well, that was before the transformation, great transformation. It bore a yellow fruit, a fruit that looked like a berry. And there was another one in Tantine. Well, I'm sure the GBSS and the Anglican High School students remember that tree that bore that yellow berry, provided good shade for them from the sun and, of course, the rain. Well, I'm sure there were more trees like that in other parts of Grenada. Well, people used to wrap Christmas boxes with gift paper, call it Christmas paper, and tie them up on that tree on the Esplanade, right where the mall is situated today, close to that spot. As a child, the temptation was always to choke down one of those boxes to see what was inside, or to hope that one would fall. That tree bore abundantly, but we were afraid to eat the fruit. A friend once told me, boy, that blasted thing would be good to eat, you know. It's a man that make rules about what good and what not good to eat. Well, I said to him, well, you go ahead and tell me it is. We had another tree, and that was the real Christmas tree, and it gave us the smell of Christmas, the smell of pine. And it put us in the right Christmas mood. That was the tree we decorated and put a car or a toy gun beneath that tree. Well, these days you can't put that for many children because they graduated to cell phones and computers. That is what I want to see beneath the tree. Time have changed. But back then, we were fond of a little 25-cent gun that used to bust shots. Well, busting shots. The little wrapped roll of shots that we put in the gun and pop, 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 busting shots. Sometimes we bought a roll of shots and the thing won't bust at all. Probably it was wet or it busted only a few. On the night before Christmas, we took out our starlight and we lighted it. Some children sent up rockets in the market square in St. George's, and when they did that, boy, policemen, they got vexed. Grandma used to get annoyed if we lighted the starlight in the house. What do all you all they want to burn down the house now? Or they want to burn down the house? You remember the starlight? By the day before Christmas, the cards were supposed to have arrived from the United States, from Canada, from England, and other places. Great Aunt Sylvia, well, she never failed to send the cards. The Christmas cards were always pretty, very pretty, with snowflakes and Jack Frost on the outside. Well, forget the outside. We wanted to see what was inside the cards because it was our Christmas money. And the words were good too. Nice words. Words like chestnut roasting on an open fire. But we are accustomed to roasting breadfruit and corn. So we did not bother too much with the chestnut thing. On the night before Christmas, carols were everywhere. And oh, how I remember the Belmont Steel Band taken to the streets days before. And young men and women whining to the song, "Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree." And the parang in Spanish came through loud and clear from 610 radio. You remember 610 radio? And we were thrilled with the voice of the Moonlight Serenaders. Christmas Eve, well, that was the time for the big midnight show at Empire Cinema or at Regal Cinema. And at Empire Cinema, I can still picture Big Bear standing near the door to pit telling people the show sold out. Sold out? What the hell are you hearing? They sold out? By the time they pelt at John. Now, John was a mixture of all kind of things that annoyed the nostrils, to put it simply. Well, all of that was Christmas back then. At Christmas, boy, nobody smoked Phoenix NEN cigarette, no filter, smoking NEN, but nobody smoked that. Everybody graduated to the puffed, the expensive Solent and 3.5s. They drank a red wine from Ghana, which if you drank on the night before Christmas, well, you're sure to think the yard was your bed. And even when they pass a piece of pork by your nose, you ain't getting up at all. You're knocked out. But Christmas was love, eh? And still is love. But back then, politicians or advocates of politics, activists, used to put aside the animosity and the hatred of each other and celebrate, break bread together. I ain't sure that will happen today because what I seen on social media, I'm not too sure that will exist today. But Christmas supposed to be love in Grand Mall, love in Victoria, love all over Grenada and the Caribbean and elsewhere. If, however, you are away from Grenada, if you are in Brooklyn, well, just find some people from Montmorris. Montmorris people will really show you what Christmas was and what Christmas is supposed to be. Anthony Wendell, The Rakes.